They're in
You
it.
know,
They're strapped in.
they are strapped, locked, and loaded.
I don't think I've never not been in it. It's been a journey, you know.
Yeah, that's a good point. I had like a crazy experience the other day. I had a massage and a lot of shit came up for me.
Hmm.
You know, it was intense. Like I felt like my whole life was flashing before my eyes.
It was like full body massage.
Yeah.
Cool.
And then I was like realizing like why I'm crazy. You know, like
Okay.
okay. Now it makes sense. Now it makes sense. This chain of events caused all of this to happen.
Where did you like feel it most? Like, you know.
I mean, it was definitely like it was emotional, you know. So I mean, I guess I was feeling it in my heart the most, you know. It was hard. It was hard to get through. And then towards the end, I was like angry.
Ooh.
You know, I was like, I just want this to be over.
Okay.
Yeah.
It kicked up a lot of dust. That's interesting.
It did. And it's funny because I do healings on people all the time.
Right.
And yeah, I get treated, but like I don't know, this was extra.
Yeah.
This was like shamanic.
Okay.
It really was, you know.
I can see it.
And my wife was the one giving me the massage, and she's like very magical. And she was like, I'm just going to treat you like a client. She didn't even tell me that. She said that in her head, and then she told me afterwards.
Yeah.
So she wasn't like trying to force anything on me because, you know, I'm her husband and I'm annoying, you know. So
Yeah.
obviously,
Right.
you know, your significant other always wants to try to change you.
Right.
I don't blame them, but yeah, it was a lot. I don't even. Did I even tell you about this?
I don't think so.
No. I've been holding it in.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you're out there getting body work on a lot is coming up, you know, I see you. I see you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Things will come up, definitely.
Yeah.
I need to get more body work done, honestly.
Yeah. It's like deep inside your you know, in the deepest dimensions of your soul.
Yeah.
It's like I think, you know, sometimes people look out there for spirituality, but then, you know, we're always told to go within. What does that even mean? Because the deepest layers of us, that's where everything is stored.
Mm-hmm.
You know, ancient memories and things like that, our DNA.
Yeah.
It's interesting. Past lives.
Yeah, and you never know when it's just might come up, you know. Sometimes it's like a song even or something, just like what the hell, where did that come from, you know?
Yeah. I want to get into future lives. Everybody's talking about past lives.
Yeah.
I'm like, what about like the year like 3000?
Future lives.
Yeah.
I never even thought about that.
No one cares about future lives. You would think everyone would care. Everyone cares about, oh, my life 2,000 years ago. Who cares? There wasn't even internet back then.
Damn. I'm
Right?
tripping now.
No cell phones, nothing, you know?
I'm tripping now.
Yeah.
Well, maybe our past life, like it could have been in the future that it took place.
Yeah.
So it's we see our life as sort of this like bullet, like we're the bullet, and you know, like the momentum is behind us, or like, you know, but we don't think about it as time isn't linear. So
Yeah, maybe like Atlantis is actually in the future.
shit.
And no one knows, right? Maybe we just have like clues to like get us there somehow.
Right.
To like, you know, shape our minds in a way where we could jump timelines or something.
We could most likely. I feel like we almost do jump timelines like every second in a way, because it's like realistically all we have is like the feed of consciousness. Like what would stop it from everything just being different for the next second if you were convinced that it was that way?
No, it's true.
Yeah.
I mean, even that interview that Thomas Campbell did with Joe Rogan, he was talking about, you know, tapping into different streams of consciousness. You know, maybe I could like tap into that plant and then just start, you know, photosynthesizing mitochondria or something, you know.
Yeah.
I don't even know if that makes sense.
Yeah, I don't know what it would feel like to be anything. That's the thing. We don't know what it feels like to be anything besides what we think we are right now.
I had a past life regression when I was a turtle.
Oh.
Yeah,
Shit.
big turtle, sea turtle.
That's badass.
Yeah.
How did it feel?
Felt wet. You know, I was swimming around.
Yeah.
Yeah, It was cool. I mean, it makes sense.
Yeah.
I loved the Ninja Turtles growing up, so there's a lot of synergy going on there.
True. I always wonder, like, cats, because they seem so free, and they seem so, like, they observe everything in such a different way, you know?
Hmm.
Like, what does that feel like to be able to just react, like, as soon as something happens? Like, we have almost, like, a little bit of a delay,
Yeah.
whereas a cat will literally, like, something happens and it's literally already out the door by the time it's happened.
I mean, they have
like,
cat-like reflexes,
it's
right?
Yeah, it's trippy to think about.
It is. They're very reactive.
And having, like, less senses, too. Like, less, like, what do you call it? Like, we feel every single part of our hands and our legs and everything. It's like, they don't have as many senses. That's why they could just, like, live outside. They don't feel everything, like, with the intensity that we feel it.
Do we know that?
Yeah.
How do they know that? How do they know what something feels? How does someone know what an animal feels?
Just by studying, like, the inside, their sort of, like, inner workings.
Oh,
like,
yeah,
you
I
could
guess
just
that makes sense. The nerves.
Yeah.
They
Like,
have
if you
less
study,
nerves.
Yeah, if you study, like, the nervous system of a cat, it's not as
complex.
Exactly.
Yeah, I should know all this stuff. I feel like I do know all this stuff. I just become, like, stupid at the end of the day.
Yeah. I don't know. You're not that stupid. You got this.
The truth is, I think everything is just channeled.
Okay.
Like, I don't think we really think at all.
Mm-hmm.
We remember things, right?
Yeah.
Like, if you take a test, usually it's memory that is required.
Mm.
Figuring stuff out, yeah, I mean, case studies and stuff, but still you're remembering the logistics of how to do something. It's not like you're coming up with your own theory. If there was a test where it was like, come up with a quantum theory to explain how a black hole works, and we're going to test you on it, how would you even do that?
Wouldn't be able to.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
No.
That's why, like, freestyle rapping is so big, because it's like, where the fuck is this coming from?
Yeah.
It's so cool to, like, listen to. Somebody who's really good at it.
I used to love that when I was younger. Now it's embarrassing. If you're 44 and you're still rapping, just stop, man.
Well, I mean,
just stop.
What about, like, the greats, though?
Fuck them. Give it up. Let somebody young take over.
I mean, yeah.
These rappers who are like 60.
Shit, yeah.
It's embarrassing.
I feel like if anybody's able to put out good content, they should keep doing it. Like, some of my favorite artists are like 50.
I don't know. 50-year-old rappers.
Well, not a rapper, but just like a songwriter, somebody who's into music.
I feel like if you dress like a rapper and you're 50,
dress like it.
It's sad.
Maybe,
it's sad.
Yeah, if you dress like it, yeah.
Yeah.
It can be.
Like some uncle, some OG, wearing FUBU. People don't even wear FUBU anymore.
Well,
Do you see FUBU when you go thrifting?
Yeah, dude, it's coming back. Are you kidding me?
Get out of here.
I always grab FUBU.
Really?
Yeah.
I've never seen you show me
I always
any
grab
FUBU.
it. I always grab it. It's back.
Wow.
It's back.
Who knew? But who's buying FUBU?
G-Unit, like all that shit's back. Echo. Flipping all that.
Yeah, I remember Echo. Yeah, it should come back. Why not? Why did it ever go away in the first place? That's another weird thing, like fashion trends.
It's weird, man. It's weird.
Like now, all of a sudden, everyone. A couple of years ago, the '90s were back. Are they still back?
It depends on like who does the cool thing. Like if somebody famous like wears something, it's like that. It's a wrap. Like it's gonna be hot for like the next 3 months, 4 months, maybe a year. That's kind of like what it has to do with, or just like. I remember fashion, like, growing up and in high school and everything, at least to me, was, like, such a big deal. That was, like, everything. Just maybe I didn't have enough to pay attention to, but it's like art to me, in a way. It's like, why the fuck did he wear that with that? And you know what I mean? Like, it was so cool to me to see, like, ripped up stuff. And I was really into, like, goth stuff.
I was never goth. I was grunge.
Yeah, grunge.
I missed the
grunge
whole goth era. And, like, people loved Marilyn Manson when I was a kid. But I just couldn't do it, man. I couldn't commit. I could not commit to that.
Yeah.
I just felt like, I would never paint my face. I've never painted my face. I have never worn face paint.
That's good.
Yeah, not even at a carnival, nothing. No desire.
Yeah.
Yeah, too
I
worried
mean-
about acne.
For sure. I mean, I didn't either, and I like goth. You don't have to paint your face.
I'm just saying, you know, people paint their faces.
Yeah.
That's a weird thing to do. Like you're in a tribe of sadness. Like you're in, what
Yeah.
does the sad tribe
Well, the
look like?
first thing that you do if you were to do anything would be like eyeliner. That would be like that. Like I don't think it goes right to like I'm gonna paint my face.
Yeah. There was like a
Yeah.
whole thing that like JD Vance was wearing eyeliner.
He's
I
on
don't think
TV,
I think he's
don't
just
know.
got some dark lashes, you know?
Maybe.
Respect.
Yeah.
I wish I had lashes like that.
Well, sometimes when you're on TV, they do you up, and you end up looking like a
That's
freaking
true.
fashionista.
Yeah, you never know. They could be
You're like,
throwing a
what the
little.
fuck?
He's, you know, maybe he's taking a call, and the next thing you know, they're throwing eyeliner on this man.
Yeah. It's kind of
He's the talk of the town.
Well, yeah, when you go on like in public on the television or whatever, they freaking do you up like crazy.
Well, that was
Sometimes
the
you end
whole
up looking
thing
like
with.
a clown.
Yeah, that was the whole thing with Trump, though. They kept making him look orange, you know?
Yeah.
Maybe
Yeah.
he just had the wrong makeup person.
I'd like to think that he was like was conscious of that and just being like, well, make me a little bit less orange. Like, what the fuck's up with this?
Yeah, I mean, could be lighting. You know, they remember
Yeah.
they made Joe Rogan look yellow during COVID.
True.
Yeah, maybe they're making him look more orange. Because he doesn't look orange now.
Yeah.
Like 2025 Trump is not orange.
Well, isn't there like a whole like stigma of like if you are orange, like you're, I don't know, you're younger, like you get out in the sun, like you like, isn't there kind of like a whole?
There's diseases that make you orange. Like
Okay.
if you have, you know, I don't remember the name of the disease, which is sad because I'm a doctor. But there is something that makes you orange. I could assure you that.
Right, like scurvy or something.
It's some kind of issue with like beta carotene or something. Too many carrots.
Yeah.
I could look it up. We could ask ChatGPT.
Yeah, that thing you sent me of ChatGPT, that was solid. You sent me like a whole freaking answer to life on
I think-
ChatGPT.
I think this is why I can't think anymore.
Oh.
Because I just rely on ChatGPT now.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't need to think.
Right.
Thinking is overrated.
Yeah.
How many people come in and tell me, I can't stop overthinking?
Yeah.
What about not thinking at all? I mean, isn't that bliss? That's nirvana, right? Let's just not think.
I was just thinking about that while I was driving here. I was like, I wasn't thinking about anything. It might have been because I did the cold plunge and then I worked out, so I'm just like drained. But I was like, wow, if I could just not think, I'd be so ahead of the game. Like, it's amazing.
People would criticize you for not thinking, unless you're a monk.
So nice.
Right?
Just not.
Monks never get criticized for not thinking. It's like, oh, you're not thinking? This guy is like he has a superpower.
Right.
But if you're a kid and you're not thinking, you're totally fucked. Everyone's gonna tell you
Right.
you're not thinking.
Yeah.
It's a punishment.
Yeah, like in the school.
It's worthy of
System,
punishment.
sure.
Yeah, if you're not thinking in school, you have to think when
You
you're
have
in
to
school.
think. Yeah.
It's crazy.
Dude, the whole school system is wild, man. Like I really genuinely can't believe that I actually I had to do that.
Yeah.
And go through 12 years of
I was a
more
horrible student.
of school. It's, you know, like what a weird environment to like be in such a young age. What a weird environment.
Ugh.
4 walls, like just a chair. Like, dude, I think that's one of the reasons I have back problems is those fucking chairs. Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
And just being like, person up there, listen to them. That's it. Like, like what a weird way to learn.
It's it's very
What a
strange.
weird thing.
They don't feed you until like, you know, whatever time, and then they give you the worst food imaginable.
True.
It's really
True.
not too far off from prison.
True. Yeah, the
It's
food's
really
whack.
it's not far from prison.
Yeah. I remember getting that cookie though at lunch. Oh man, that like $1
The
cookie.
big chocolate chip cookie.
Yeah, oh,
Yeah.
that was the shit.
And if it was like if it just came out, it was like a little warm,
Uh,
and the chips were melted.
dude, every day I need one of those like a crackhead.
Yeah,
Be like, yo, can I borrow $1 for that cookie, bro?
Yeah.
I'll get you back.
that's the only thing keeping some of those kids alive.
Dude, that was like the most nutritious part of the meal, unless you brought your own food. You know.
Yeah, I used to hate when kids would bring in like a tuna sandwich on wheat bread, like untoasted wheat.
Right.
Oh my God, I would get sick to my stomach just looking at that.
You just gotta get it down just for to get through the rest of the day. It's
You're
tough.
better off fasting.
Yeah,
Even if
you
you're
are.
a kid, they say you need this to grow. No, you don't.
Dude, imagine like hearing that a kid in high school say I'm fasting. I would literally be like,
Right?
wouldn't even understand. I'd just keep walking. I'd be like, what did he just say?
Yeah, you wouldn't even know what that means.
Fasting? Yeah.
Fasting for what?
You like, well, you want to go fast? You want to go run around the track? Like,
Yeah.
what do you like?
Unless you're like from Pakistan or something, and it's Ramadan, right?
All right. Oh, true. Yeah,
Yeah.
that would make sense
Or
then.
a Jewish kid like me.
I went to
I never
school, yeah.
fasted. I never participated.
Right. I went to school with actually in like a Jewish area, and they would actually fast and stuff like that. So
there's tons of Jews in Belmore.
Yeah, so I actually probably would have known what that was.
It's J-Town out there.
Yeah, it's it's chill. Everybody was really nice. I never got bullied or anything.
Yeah, the Jews are relatively extremely nice compared to, I went to school in Comac, and kids were not nice. Not nice. A lot of bullies. Yeah, aggressive kids.
Yeah.
Back in the day, in the 80s into the 90s.
Yeah, man.
Early 90s.
Just forced in that building with all these crazy maniacs, bro.
Yeah.
It's like, have classes in the woods.
That would be sick. They should have classes in the woods.
At least you're surrounded by something that cares.
There would be no ADHD.
It's possible.
Yeah.
I wonder if there's been studies.
I did a study on that on nature walks.
Okay.
Yeah, and it has like it improves ADHD by about 18%.
Okay.
Something like that. Yeah. I actually did a legitimate study on it. So, nature will regulate your brain. It'll regulate your brain. And even walking on uneven ground, it helps the cerebellum. It's good.
I walked around a cemetery like last weekend.
That's goth.
And the area that I moved to, there's cemeteries everywhere.
Whoa.
Everywhere. Like, some of the biggest ones, like on Long Island.
Yeah.
So it was actually a Jewish cemetery, and I just walked around, and I honestly, it was really cool. Like, it was almost just like a death meditation. It was just like I thought a lot about like when I'm gone, what would I do if I was told that I was gonna, pass away within the next few days, within the next month, and it's a really interesting, introspective thing to think about, and I think it's important for everybody to consider.
Yeah, I think about it.
Yeah, because we all just go day by day. Then, for me at least, I think like, I'm gonna live till 70. Like I'm gonna, there's a part of me that thinks that at least, and then we live almost like according to that, and it kind of depresses me sometimes because I'm like, oh my God, there's so much more time to feel bad. There's so much more time, sure, to feel happy too, but there's just so much more time, and it's just like, I don't even know that. That's not even. That's I might die in 2 years. I have no idea.
None of us really know. I mean, I always picture myself like late 90s.
Yeah.
Like 98, 99 years old, holding on.
Right.
That's I could see me doing that.
Yeah.
I've got a strong will.
For sure. Yeah.
I think like the more of a bastard you are, the longer you're gonna live.
Dude, right? What's up with that?
Because it's willpower, man. It's like a strong will.
I always think
strong
like
personality.
The people who don't want to live the most end up living the longest. I always think that sometimes. Like the people who are like
it's the
just
law of
depressed.
reverse effect.
Right. And then the people who are just freaking happy since day one, they go quick. It's bizarre.
Yeah. I had a friend who was like a really cool dude, and he died when he was like 24. He had cancer.
Damn.
He was like he was cool and very grounded.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Just straight up got cancer. And
he had childhood cancer.
Okay,
childhood. Hodgkin's lymphoma.
Okay.
Yeah, that was the first funeral I ever went to that wasn't a relative.
Mm.
And I cried. And like when you're 13, you don't cry. You have like testosterone like running through. Well, it's like just starting.
Okay. Yeah.
Puberty. So, I mean, you cry. You cry about like your first girlfriend.
Yeah, it's almost like you cry on like like quick things. Like you don't cry about things that are like complex and have a lot of emotional depth to them. Like
Right.
you just kind of cry about something that just happened, like
Yeah.
you fucking smashed your head or something.
Yeah, yeah. Or
But-
like somebody steals your bike.
Right. So what's the law of reverse effect? You want to elaborate on that?
It's literally exactly what it sounds like. When
Mhm.
you want something to happen so badly, you're actually causing a resistance, so it has the reverse effect.
Right.
You're creating resistance by not by being too attached to the outcome.
Okay.
So the opposite happens, or you're
Shit.
so, or if you're like so afraid of something, like you're so afraid that this one particular thing is going to happen, so it actually does happen.
Mm.
Right? Like, not even just like you're afraid of it. It's more like you're afraid of it, so you avoid it at all costs, but it keeps happening to you. That's
Okay.
the law of reverse effect.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a good way to describe it.
Yeah. I'm just like breaking it down in my own life and just thinking about, all the cases that may or may not be true.
Yeah, people always talk about the law of attraction, but no one talks about the law of reverse effect. To every yin, there's a yang,
Yeah.
So that you're playing with both. You're it's the swing of the pendulum between the law of attraction and the law of reverse effect.
Mm.
Difficult
That's
to
cool.
navigate. So, yeah. So tell me about the cold plunge. What
Yeah.
happened?
This morning. So I've done a lot of cold plunges, like probably maybe around 10 or so, like just running out into the ocean in the middle of February or January or February, and I just had the idea last night to go, so I woke up and I'm like, all right, I think I'm gonna do this. It just snowed, so I was like, this will be even more badass, like this is like hell. So
And you did it alone.
yeah, I just went. Yeah, I did cold plunges the first time I ever did them with a giant group of people.
Like the polar bear.
Yeah, and I actually like doing it alone more. It just feels more like, I don't know, cathartic or something. But
It's definitely more badass to do it alone.
Yeah, it was
when
cool.
You're doing it with other people. I'm sure like there's egos getting involved.
Yeah, without a doubt, somebody wants to be the toughest one. They want to stay in there for the longest.
Right.
It's all that type of stuff. But
staying until their heart stops beating.
I mean, you could, but. So what did I do? So I went, and as I was pulling up, I just saw all these signs that were like swimming strictly prohibited, like a bunch of, and I was just like, am I gonna do this right now? Like, a lot of the fields were actually closed off. There was just one that was open.
Yeah.
So I was like, this is like kind of getting sketchy now. Like, I don't know. So I just kind of kept going. Got out of my car. I was like, oh, it's not that cold out, because I was just in like the 80. I was just blasting 80-degree heat in my car. So I was like, oh, it's not that bad. Being out there for like 10 seconds.
It's like 29 degrees out.
So I walk up and I'm just there in front of the ocean. It's beautiful, and I'm like, I got to do this quick because it's freezing ice cold out here. And if I'm not going to do it this second, I'm not going to do it. So it was so painful to even just take my clothes off. Like literally taking my clothes off hurt. Like I was just like, oh my god, my pants are off. You know what I mean? Like what the hell? And I put my bathing suit on. I ran in. I just like, I went in probably like up to my neck. I didn't put my head in.
Holy shit.
I was in there for maybe like, I'd like to think 45 seconds like around, but it was just, I don't know, man. I got to the point I was just like, this is too much for right now at least. So I ran out, and dude, like I said in the voice note that I sent you, I don't think if I tried to run to my car, I would have been able to make it if I just went right from the water to running to my car, because my feet were so numb. So I literally just like fell on the towel and just was like, like this, like breathing on myself, like, you know what I mean?
Oh my god.
And it wasn't even the body being too cold. It was like the extremities, like my hands and feet were like numb,
Yeah.
So I'm like, how in the hell am I gonna put my shirt back on?
And that's shock, all of the blood went to the organs.
Right. So like, it felt thrilling, it felt fun. Like I'm not gonna, it's definitely beneficial. Like when I finally got to the car, I was just like in bliss in the heat, like, oh my god, and then driving home, you're almost just like, you're in an actual, like we just talked about, changing dimensions, paradigms, what were we just talking about, like
Dimensions,
changing, time hopping. Like you feel like afterwards you almost feel like you change timelines afterwards, because on the way there you're thinking about the thing. I'm gonna jump into the water. What are you kidding me? How is this gonna be? You're like thinking about it, and then when you're driving home, you're almost just like there's nothing there. Like you just like totally like you totally just submerge yourself. You are like in the moment. Like you're not thinking about anything else. You're like, I really just did that. Like that was crazy. So, so yeah, it was just really freaking cold. Got home, showered. Yeah, man, I definitely want to do another one. Like when there's not snow on the ground. This way, I could at least like get out and kind of like the ones that I've done before. I was able to actually get out and like hang out and start to feel better, like even still outside, like on the beach.
Because when you're getting out into the snow, you're just walking around in the snow.
It's wild.
Brutal.
I was like coughing too, like my respiratory system was fucked up.
Yeah, I mean, you could have died. You could have definitely died doing this.
Like what? Like a heart attack? What do you think?
I don't know. Hypothermia.
Yeah, I mean.
Yeah.
I just figured all the times I've done it, I'm just like, I don't know.
I've never done it. I've never plunged.
It's.
I'm not a plunger.
Well, start out if you want to start out.
No
just
desire.
take a cold shower.
I have no desire.
No desire for cold.
I absolutely hate the cold.
Yeah.
I hate it.
Yeah.
Like I must have like been. I was not a polar bear in a past life. I was that sea turtle in those tropical waters, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tropical life.
That 80-degree water. That Costa Rica tide.
Dude, I'd love to see you do a cold plunge because you would just be out of this world uncomfortable. Like you would literally, you would be like your face would just be like a different face. You know what I mean?
I might
like
change personalities.
Dude, you might, honestly.
I might not be the same ever again after that. Because I love comfort.
Yeah.
I sleep with like 3 blankets on, and I'm like sweating under these blankets.
Well, you've done like sauna, I'm sure.
Yeah, sauna. I could do the hottest 210 degree sauna. I could stay in there. I've done sweat lodges.
That's what I was just about to ask.
Sweat lodge with peyote.
Because
I was in a
that's
5-hour
tough too.
sweat lodge.
That's like just as tough as a cold plunge.
Oh yeah.
That's just as tough.
I was in a 5-hour, I think, what did I call it? Sweat lodge with peyote. Yeah, in Costa Rica.
How did that feel? The peyote?
It was
like,
fine.
With the peyote?
It makes it, because of the heat, it becomes very mild. It's like, it's more for your stamina, actually.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Like you don't realize 5 hours has passed.
Oh,
It feels like a half hour. And then when you walk outside, you're in the rainforest. I remember walking outside and there were crazy bugs and stuff everywhere, and I was like, oh, like it felt super, like, who wants to see bugs when you're on peyote?
Because it depends. I've never done it.
They're everywhere in Costa Rica.
Yeah, big ones, I'm sure.
Huge bugs everywhere. There were huge millipedes and caterpillars and scorpions and dragonflies, like that big.
Do they like decorate them and shit?
No, I mean, no.
When I was in Thailand, there were like big bugs, giant beetles with these big horns, and I think like if you lived in a little village, they would literally like decorate them, like they put little things on them.
That's funny.
Yeah,
like little ornaments.
Cool. Yeah, yeah. Wow. They decorate the bugs, bro.
Wow, they must be bored. No internet.
Dude, that sounds just as fun, if not more fun.
It's a different kind of fun. It's very, innocence, man. I want my innocence back. I really do. I've been exposed to too much. That's what it takes to do what I do, though, I think. Like, to be good at doing, like, hypnosis and acupuncture and healing people, you have to be exposed to everything. Sometimes people call me, it's so weird. Like, people have no idea what acupuncture could be used for. So there's people who, like, only think it's used for pain. And then there are people who, like, they'll blow your mind. They'll call me and be like, can you treat ingrown nose hair? They'll come up with, like, the most obscure thing. Like, I'll be treating someone for back pain for, like, a month. And they'll be better. And they'll come to me and they'll be like, I keep getting this hangnail. Can you help me with that? And I'm just like, I mean, I guess so, you know? You could just get a nail clipper and, you know.
It just goes down to like the smallest thing. Like it goes from this big back issue to like, oh, I kind of feel like my finger feels weird.
Yeah, I'm serious. I had this one person, she's like, I have this tickle in my throat and no one could figure it out. She's like, I've been to 20 doctors and no one could figure it out. My first thought is like, well, how am I supposed to figure it out? You went to 20 doctors, they have all kinds of, you know, high technology diagnostic testing. No one could figure anything out, and then I'm supposed to figure it out just by looking at you? Like, I could figure a lot of stuff out. I really can. Don't get me wrong. Like, I'm definitely an expert at what I do, but some people have like very high expectations. Then there are people who have very low expectations. They'll come in and they'll be like, does this even work? And I'm like, no, I'm just doing it for 10 years and it doesn't work.
Right.
You know? It's just been around for 3,000 years, maybe 6,000 years, and it hasn't worked this whole time.
Yeah.
So it's wild what people think and what they don't think. You know, it's every single day, somebody's mind blows my mind. You know what I mean?
I kind of want to say just about in general about acupuncture. Like this is the story that I always tell because it's the most convincing to me. Is that I don't know if you remember I came in. I was having like fear. Like I didn't come in for fear, but I was just having like just fear. Like I would just lay down in bed at night and I'd be like, I feel like there's a figure over here in the corner. And it was very prevalent for like 2 days. And then I came in and got treated. And I went home. I like could not make myself scared. I could not. And I was like, why do I have no fear anymore? Like what happened? And you're like, oh, I cleared the gallbladder channel. And I was just like, what the hell? Like that was the clearest example of acupuncture working to me. I was like that was astounding, night and day.
Yeah.
Fear, no fear, easy. Like
yeah. Well, the kidney actually reflects fear, but the gallbladder gives you courage.
Okay.
Right. So some people may treat the kidney, but you can't get rid of fear without courage. So I treat it with the gallbladder channel. Yeah, so it's interesting because there's so many different ways to approach these things in life.
Yeah. That is Wow, that's cool. So you treat it with the courage. That's interesting. Hit it with some courage, bro.
Yeah, man. Well, I mean, I give it to you for doing the cold plunge today. That takes a lot of courage.
Dude.
What's the most dangerous place you've ever gone?
Damn, I might have to think about that. Like, I mean, probably Pompano Beach, Florida.
Really?
I was van lifing in Pompano Beach, and just I don't know why we stayed there. We were just staying there for like 2 weeks. Just the amount of crazy people was just like, you know, people on drugs and shit. Yeah. Like we would be going to sleep and we just hear like somebody blasting music. Like we would literally stay in Walmart lots, so it's pretty stupid on our part, but
yeah, we
would just see crazy people, and we definitely got lucky that we made it out of there. But
yeah, I mean the Walmart at Pompano Beach, Florida.
Yeah,
I mean, that's like a psych ward.
Yeah, dude. You know, just everybody trying to sell you drugs, like just people speeding around. Like we got like harassed.
Donuts in the parking lot.
We got harassed this one night. This woman was like, literally like woke us up and she was like trying to race us, like in my van. She like literally was blasting music. Like right near it was a totally empty parking lot, blasting music in a Hummer, right, blocking me in. I was like, we're gonna freaking die right now. This woman's gonna get out and kill us. And then she moved and was racing around the parking lot, and she kept coming up to our van and like yelling and shit.
Oh my god.
And we were just like, we gotta get the fuck out of here. So we left so quick, and we were like, what just happened?
Yeah.
But that's one of the most dangerous places. I mean,
interesting.
You know, I was in LA, like doing the van life thing, and just the like living right next to the homeless. You know what I mean? Like next to homeless encampments in the van, and I mean that was probably pretty dangerous. I didn't get harassed or anything, but
yeah,
that was probably.
The van was probably like a mansion to them. You know, you were like a god over there.
I felt really lucky to.
You were like Elon Musk over there.
I felt super lucky to be living in the van as opposed to like in a tent. So.
Right. I would pick a van over a tent any day.
Yeah, definitely. What about you? What's like the most dangerous? Have you been anywhere super dangerous?
The most dangerous place I think I've ever been is the Whole Foods parking lot over here
No.
in Lake Grove.
No.
That is the most dangerous place on earth.
Oh my god.
It's like a gauntlet. I've almost died there twice, just grocery shopping. I'm serious. One time I'm walking to the Whole Foods and a woman in a huge Lexus SUV flies into a spot.
Yeah.
And she's just like, "Oh my god, I'm sorry," because I was walking. She almost just plowed into me.
Yeah.
Like,
she needs that spot, bro.
yeah, because it was close. She wanted that close spot.
God.
And the funniest part is this was a huge Lexus SUV, and the spot was designated for fuel-efficient vehicles.
Okay, wow.
So it's like
the opposite of a fuel-efficient vehicle.
She's getting like 8 miles to the gallon. She literally almost crushed my legs.
Yeah.
With her car, with her SUV.
Dude, that would have been fucked up.
And like my first instinct was like to curse her out because I was so mad, and I was just like, no, you know what?
How close did it come to you? Like
close.
It was like she turned in right in front of you. Like?
Yeah,
okay.
Turned in right in front of me. Like it was like it was 3 feet. It wasn't like it's not like I touched the car. You know? I had a little room,
it was too close for comfort.
Too close for comfort. The other week, I'm leaving in my car. Yeah. And a woman in a Lexus. It's always a woman in a Lexus. Lexus drivers are next level. She cuts across the main road and comes into the exit of the parking lot. There are literally arrows pointing at her, and she is driving the opposite way. And I go to leave, and I don't see her because you would never think someone's driving on the wrong side of the road.
Hell no.
So this woman, all she does is this. That's it. She almost killed me. Imagine you almost kill somebody, and you're so disassociated from reality that this is it. That's all I got.
Oh man, well,
that's it.
How
I texted you right after. Remember, I was like, someone almost killed me at the Whole Foods parking lot. It's literally like a gauntlet from hell.
Wow.
And all of these women, they're all on Xanax. I mean, it's not just women, but
fun.
You know. This is Long Island. Some of these women are very wealthy. They stay home all day, and the only thing they do all day is they take Xanax, they go to Whole Foods, they buy like $800 worth of groceries, they stop at the tanning salon on the way home, and then they go back to their mini mansion, and then they take a 6-hour nap, and then their husband comes home from work, and they argue, get into a fight, she drinks a bottle of wine, takes another Xanax, goes to sleep, and repeat. That's it. That is the life of a lot of these people. And they're on the road. They are on the road with you. In their 500 horsepower
They are
Lexus.
on the road with you. That is a fact. They are there. Oh my god.
I'm not making this up. You know, I'm not making this up. I've met these people. I was in real estate for 10 years before I did this. And I know what their life is like. Yeah, man. Damn. Yeah.
Well,
and they're not trying to change.
At least they're getting that good food. I love Whole Foods.
Yeah,
I went there with treats. Treats galore.
I liked pre-communist Whole Foods better.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah, once Amazon took over, I mean, it used to be like super granola, and now it's like a little North Korea, a little, you know.
Sure.
Yeah. It's gotten weird.
I don't know. Are a lot of them different? I feel like I go to different like locations and I'm like, this one was shitty, and then my location I like love.
The buffet is different at different Whole Foods. I mean, like the buffet here is always the same. Yeah. For at least a few months, and then they'll like introduce something new because it's like communism. I
went to my local Whole Foods I go to all the time and get the hot bar. Great. It's always amazing. I went to one in Jersey and I got the hot bar and some other stuff. I was like shitting myself, bro. I was like farting for like an entire like 2 days. I was like, I guess I'm just gonna fart for the next 2 days.
They use a lot of canola oil, actually.
Where?
At Whole Foods.
Right.
Like, almost everything has canola oil in it. And that's not good. Canola oil is literally poison.
Okay, good to know.
It's poison.
I'll take note of that.
Yeah, it is a poisonous plant. So,
Well,
I don't know if that's planned.
right.
You know, if they're slowly poisoning us at the communist Whole Foods.
Mm,
Whole Foods, I used to get like the man bun discount at Whole Foods. Now,
okay. The man.
you know,
discount.
I'm lucky. Yeah, they're lucky if you get a. You're lucky if you get a bag for your groceries anymore.
Right.
You'll
No.
go there and they have little tiny bags.
I like challenging myself though. If I get like a lot of stuff, I like being like almost like the when you stack rocks in the forest.
Yeah.
That's like me with my groceries. I'm
You're
like,
trying
let
to
me see if
fit
I could.
as much into a
Let me
bag
see.
as possible.
No, I just try to hold my shit. Like I'll
Oh.
have like a box of seltzer, and then I'll have like another box of like green juice, and then I'll have like a thing of bagels like over here, and then I'll have like and you just try to like you walk out and you're just like, this is totally normal. Like
Yeah.
like everybody, like you almost feel like superior. You're like, I don't need a bag. Like look at this balancing skill.
Wow. That's like the ultimate environmentalist right there.
Not at all.
You don't even bring your own bag. You're just going no bag. You're raw dogging grocery
I
shopping.
may be, but I do bring bags. But when I don't, I like to stack. I like to stack it up. Walk out of there, skipping out of there.
Respect, man. I go to grocery stores to eat all the time because, like, I don't do fast food. Usually I'm alone because I'm working all the time. So, like, I'll do the buffet, whatever. There's a grocery store called Wild by Nature. Their bags don't even have handles.
Oh,
It's a handleless bag, and
Same
it's
thing with
paper thin.
Same thing with King Colin. Yeah.
You'll if you try to grab the bag, it's gonna rip.
You're holding the bag like you're in like the 80s. You're like like hugged around it. You're like,
Yeah.
I'm going home.
Exactly.
Groceries.
It's like Marty McFly.
Yeah.
It's 1988,
There you go.
and you've got your orange vest on.
I kind of like it. I feel like I'm like back in time. I'm like, oh, this
Yeah.
bag doesn't have handles. Wow, we're
It's
we're
like
walking out.
it's like the bag you put a 40 ounce in.
Right.
You know? And they're like,
right.
here, put this canned ham in here.
Right.
Like, I don't know. The bag it's meant for the bottom to fall out.
That's why they double bag, and then it's like, all right, well now how many forests are we burning down to fucking?
These are all psychological games, though.
right.
They're all like
Okay.
it's crazy because like the super wealthy, they do all the opposite, right? They'll have like they'll get like a cardboard box at the grocery store. They don't even care. Like there's not like they fly around in jets and then they tell people like not to use your gas oven.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
So I don't know. I don't believe in any of that anymore. I used to. When I found out that they don't recycle anything on Long Island, it really broke my spirit.
That sucks.
They used to have the different garbage cans. They don't even do that anymore. It's just all in one garbage can now.
Right.
There's no recycling day anymore. They've admitted it that they're not recycling anymore.
Yeah. At this point, we got to just recycle on our own.
There is no recycling. They don't recycle. It all goes to the electric facility, the power plant, Covanta. It all goes there.
Yeah.
And they burn it for fuel. All of it. No matter what it is.
Is that bad?
I mean, if I have a friend who works there, he said if they didn't do that, there would be garbage everywhere. Like we would be living on a landfill.
Right.
And they have like all these like high level EPA filters on the smokestacks. And
Right.
they filter it all out and they get rid of the
Sounds pretty
ashes.
solid.
I mean, it's the best we've got, other than like, ejecting it into outer space. But who knows what the repercussions of that would be?
That's
Wow,
yeah.
You don't want to like. What happens if all of our garbage ends up like hitting the sun or something? Like.
I think that might be okay. It would burn up before it got to the sun.
It would definitely burn it up. But you know what I'm saying? Like we have no idea what we're doing.
Yeah, it's very reckless.
None of us.
It's very reckless, and also like we could start a whole other civilization with just the bacteria on our garbage going out into the and it lands somewhere.
Right.
And then next thing you know, there's a comet up in or not a comet, like a meteor up in the sky, like freaking.
They probably have a full civilization on Pluto from our garbage. Like
have we sent it
dinosaurs and stuff.
Have we sent garbage out?
I don't know. Probably. I don't think so.
I saw this one like independent creator on Instagram who, like, he'll get like a milk jug, plastic milk jug, and he bought his own like plastic grinder, so he'll like grind it down, and then he makes molds, and he actually makes like little toys out of them
Out of
and
garbage.
sells them. Yeah,
Mm.
and sells them. And I'm like, damn, that sounds like the best thing that I've seen.
Yeah.
Just make it into like some sort of little art that people will actually like have.
Oh, like that guy who makes the bird, and like
Yeah.
you look at it and it's just like scraps of metal, but
Something like that.
Yeah,
Basically, that's just
yeah,
another
yeah.
version of that. Yeah.
right. Yeah, that's pretty cool.
But because you can grind plastic down into like little tiny, like almost like sand,
Mm.
and then you can mold it into stuff,
Mm.
which is cool.
Yeah, you gotta respect garbage. People don't have any respect for garbage.
I do. My whole job is garbage now with the thrifting.
Right. Yeah, you're living
Yeah.
that garbage life.
I look like I see garbage on the side of the road, and I always I stop a little bit. I slow down.
Yeah.
What's in there?
I will judge somebody if they're throwing out a couch.
Mm.
I know their whole life story from looking at that
Yo.
couch. Have you ever seen like a couch and you're just like, how are you living like this? How are you sitting on that?
Right.
How?
I see a lot of nice ones.
Really?
Weirdly enough, like I'll see a lot of ones that I would consider taking,
I've
but
seen
I know what
them.
you're talking about.
It looks
though.
like it was like pulled out of a lake.
Right.
And you're just like, that was in their house.
Yeah.
It like blows your mind.
Yeah. You ever meet like an old lady who keeps the plastic like covering over
Oh,
their
yeah,
couch for like
yeah.
their entire life?
I lived for
It's
like
so
a year.
Wild to me.
For a year, I lived in this house in Queens. It was my friend's grandma's house. I had nowhere to live. And they were like, do you want to live in this house in Queens for free? All you have to do is watch the house. And it sounded really cool. I get there, everything is from like 1940, and it's
Wow.
all covered in plastic. It's all junk. It's nothing, none of
Nothing
it is
cool.
nice. No. Total junk. And it was the weirdest thing ever.
And
It
you
was
lived there for
I
how
lived
long?
there for like a year.
Okay.
This
And
was
you
when
had
I
to
was a
keep-
teenager.
You had to keep the plastic on everything? Or?
No, I could have.
Right.
Nobody cared about this. They threw everything out
Right.
eventually.
I'm talking about old ladies who they'll keep the plastic on
Yeah.
their couch and will sit on it.
Oh, I know.
And like I'm
Yeah.
like sitting here like you're insane.
The couch is like gold, like the color gold.
Right.
Yeah, or
Right.
like seafoam green.
Like how would you like your whole life you sit down on the couch and you hear and you just like how is that comfortable and you're just sitting on like plastic.
This is before people had air conditioning. They're sitting on this thick plastic.
It's wild just to keep the couch pristine. It's
Yeah.
like,
Well,
dude.
back in the day, people wanted things to last forever.
Yeah.
You know, now
Yeah.
people throw everything away. You're
Yeah.
lucky if you have something. People will buy
Yeah.
something on Amazon, have it for 3 months, and then it's garbage.
Yeah.
Throw
Yeah.
it out.
Yeah.
And it's built like garbage. They know us. They know us in China. They're building stuff to fall apart for the purpose of it falling apart.
Right.
They're not stupid.
Yeah, I get the putting the plastic on the couch, like for a time. I don't get actually sitting on the plastic. Like I would.
Well, what's
maybe,
the cutoff? 20 years? You know, like
Right.
20 years, you rip the plastic off. That's
Right.
it. Let's go crazy.
Right. Right. Like when is it gonna be?
Yeah, I mean, who knows? By then, you know, the old woman could be like incontinent by then. She's, you know, going to the bathroom. Maybe she needs the plastic then.
Maybe. Yeah. I don't know.
You're better off putting the plastic on later in life.
Right.
You know, it's like a barrier
Yeah.
for accidents.
I loved like when I first got my car. I loved sitting on the nice like leather seat. I was like,
Yeah,
oh, this
yeah.
is so sick. And then it started like getting destroyed.
Cracking.
And then I was like, yep, this is why people put seat covers on. So
Yeah.
I just like put one on. I was kind of just like
You're
better
supposed
late
to
than never.
you're supposed to like condition it.
Okay.
You know, like get a leather conditioner. Nobody's doing that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Unless you have like something crazy, I guess.
Even
maybe.
on nice cars, I look at cars all the time. I have like this weird addiction to like, I look at used Mercedes and BMWs all the time because I love European cars.
Mm.
And you'd be shocked how many of the seats are destroyed.
Yeah.
Like, how did this happen?
Yeah.
There's like a spring coming out, and like, how are you driving 100,000 miles
With a spring up your ass.
with a spring up your ass? Like, who are you?
Oh man.
It's the same guy who has the couch that was dragged out of a lake. I took a picture of this TV that somebody threw away. You should have seen this thing. It was like, I can't even explain.
Yeah.
I mean, you could only see it. Me explaining it is never going to do justice
For sure.
to the damage that was done to this thing. It was like eroded.
Right.
Like the speaker, like you could see only the rubber. Like the wood around it was gone.
Yeah.
It was like this. It was insane.
We're talking about like a 1990s TV?
Yeah,
Okay.
90s. It was a flat. It was like a square,
Yeah.
flat
Those
TV.
those things are hard to maintain though.
Yeah, it
But-
wasn't a flat screen. You know,
Okay.
it was one of those
Yeah,
box TVs,
yeah.
but it was flat.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it had speakers built into it. It looked like termites ate away at everything.
Yeah.
Like, how do you keep that in your? How do you look at that every day?
Yeah, I don't know. It might have been just in storage. Like we don't even know their story, and then they're.
It would
was
have
in the
had to have
basement.
been in a shed outside.
Right, in a shed outside
But
or
who
something.
puts a
It could have
TV
been.
out there?
I don't know, man.
They should have threw it out 20 years ago.
It's it's kind of funny if they were using it. You know?
They were using this thing. I mean, I
You knew.
my intuition never fails me, ever.
I hope I don't get the hiccups. I just got one.
Really?
I had them like after I did the cold plunge.
Oh wow. Maybe
Yeah.
your heart stopped for a moment.
It's possible.
I hope not. I don't think that's good.
It's fine.
This is why I don't plunge.
You should plunge. I want to see it. I want to see your reaction.
I don't think Jews plunge, man. You know, we don't do cold. I'm Russian though.
Oh, they do cold.
Yeah.
Are you kidding me?
I hate the cold. I just hate it.
There we go.
I don't know, my ancestors would be ashamed of me. They would be ashamed.
Well, this you might start doing it one day. Who knows? Everybody has a different taste for it. All I know is if you do take a cold shower one day, afterwards you feel so relaxed.
I've done a cold shower,
Yeah.
but then I hit it with
Crank it.
Either I do the hot to the cold or the cold to the hot. Never
Yeah.
just one.
Just cold. Yeah.
No, never just cold. Unless I didn't pay for the heat and or the hot water heater was broken. I've had a hot water heater issue more than once in my life, where I've had to take a cold shower, but it would be like a minute, just enough
Quick,
to
yeah.
soap you up
Quick.
where you need to,
Yeah, bare minimum.
the
yeah.
bare minimum, and then get out,
Yeah.
and it would be like torture.
I remember when I was on the road, I had like a shower bag. Have you ever seen like a camping shower bag?
Yes, I've seen it. They attach to the side of the camper sometimes.
Yes, and so you're supposed to leave it out in the sun if you want the water to be hot. So we left it out in the sun, and it got so hot to the point where we had to dump it out and just start over with new water. We were like, this is just what happened?
It was like
steaming.
200-degree water.
Yeah.
I don't know. I like hot water, man. I'll sit in a hot tub. I love it.
Yeah. Hot water's good.
The hotter, the better. But you don't want it to be burning hot.
Yeah, it was burning. That was the problem.
Yeah.
That was the problem. It
Right.
would have burnt your skin.
Yeah, that's
It was under
obviously not what you want.
the thing was sitting under just the PA sun, just freaking baking.
Do you remember that? What was that show that there was a series with the Ronins? They would boil people alive. What show was that? Shogun.
I haven't
Shogun.
watched, but that sounds like I don't even want to think about that. That sounds terrible.
Ooh, bro. You didn't see Shogun?
You'd just be getting burnt alive. You'd be like, "Ooh, this is nice."
No,
bro."
it was torturous. They died, clearly.
Yeah,
They
of
boiled them
course.
to death. But it was like a
Dude.
depiction of
that's
medieval China.
that's messed up.
Yeah, it was cool. I mean, not that part. That part gave me nightmares, honestly.
Well, it sounds like one of the worst ways you could possibly go.
I mean, I think it's up there.
You know.
It's up there. Being boiled alive,
Yeah.
up there.
I mean, I made tea and accidentally poured just some of the tea onto my arm, and my freaking tattoos literally, some of my tattoos melted away.
Get out of here! I could see that.
Yeah.
Wow, that's crazy.
Literally just poured tea on my boiling hot tea on my arm. So,
Wow.
and
When
that
did
was
happen?
so ridiculously painful. I
Yeah.
can't believe
Yeah,
getting
that's
boiled alive.
It's like a 3rd-degree burn.
Yeah, it sucks. It ruined this tattoo, but that's what happens when you're just doing shit too quickly.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm gonna make some tea and get into bed. Oh, I just have 3rd-degree burns. Fuck.
Yeah.
Can't get a break.
Yeah. It's
So
a cruel world
it's
that
tough.
we're living in.
I know.
That's why I was saying people are in it.
One wrong move and you're just, next thing you know, you're have no legs. Who knows?
At Whole Foods, it's possible.
Yeah,
That could have been me.
Yeah.
I am so thankful that I still have my legs.
Yeah.
after that.
What is up with like? I never understood those giant like those GMC like trucks, like the sedan, like you know what I'm talking about.
They're like
just
ultra large.
just the huge sedan or whatever you want to call it. I like never understood those. Like, what are you doing in there? Like, you're not doing the van life. You're not like if you're not living in a car that big, why do you have a car that big?
I don't know.
Like, it's like you have so much room. Like, how much room do you need? You know. Like you're sitting in the back of the car, like damn. Do you want to feel like you're on like a yacht? Like just get in your car and go from point A to point B. You don't need to have this like giant, freaking behemoth.
And you always see people driving them alone.
Alone. What is up with that?
I don't know,
dude. That was my next. That was what I was thinking about next. Is that there's always some little woman in there.
Really, I always think it's like some boomer.
I mean, sure,
with like
or
a
a boomer,
mustache,
or a boomer. But I always feel like I see like some little tiny woman in there and just driving, and I'm just looking back. Like you have 2 more rows of seats behind you and a trunk.
Yeah.
Like what are you doing?
Yeah, and it's empty.
Empty. What are you doing?
I don't know.
Oh my god.
It's interesting. That's boomer life though. They need the more space a boomer has.
Right.
It's like their quality of life to them has just risen.
Well, I get that to a certain degree, not with cars, but like just like the new place I moved into has way more room than I need, and it actually does feel really nice. Like it gives me peace of mind.
Yeah,
but
it does.
Certain things,
you know, yeah. I feel you. I mean, I have rooms I don't even use, but I'm grateful for them.
True. You have the it's just like options, I guess. Like, wow, I could have my whole family in this car. I could have a whole nother family in this car if I wanted to. I could have 2 families in this car.
Yeah. Maybe they just hate natural resources and they want to just burn them up as quick as possible.
Right.
You know, like, fuck this gasoline. Who needs 30 miles to a gallon when I get 8?
Dude. I really look at those cars and am like actually perplexed. Like, like genuinely perplexed.
I mean, imagine how much tires cost on like a Ford 3500 super cab. You know, they're probably you're talking about $2,000 for tires.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
I mean,
for all of those tires,
for goddamn rubber.
Yep. But you know, this is what people want. You know, there's a demand for this stuff.
Just a giant car.
Giant.
It's I love seeing like vans that people are like. Just a hollowed out van, like that's always cool. We're like, oh, there's a lot of options here. You could, but the seating is like, what are you doing? Like, it's not a bus, and it's not a van. Like, what is it? What is it? Like, you know
it's
what
like
I mean?
A family vehicle,
right? Okay. I mean,
it's designed for your whole family to sit in it.
But then you don't always have a family, though. What happens? Your kids move out. Now you have this giant freaking car, and you're a little woman driving around.
There is an aspect of like empty nest syndrome where like there's some mental distortion there where she feels like her family has to be with her in this vehicle all the time, even though they're there maybe like 6% of the time.
Right.
Like she could definitely alternate between that and a Prius.
Right.
But she's not doing it. She's got to drive the big rig.
Dude.
Yep.
Those things are gnarly.
They are. They are. I mean, you're high up there, too. I mean, if you hit somebody on a motorcycle, they're going to die.
Yeah.
They're done.
Done.
They're done.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Especially in, like, a Cybertruck. Like, I haven't even been inside a Cybertruck yet. Have you?
No. Do you like it? The way it looks?
I thought it was cool at first, and now I just see them, and I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
I knew it was going to be like that.
Yeah.
I'm like, this looks really cool now, but I don't know.
I think it's cool. It's different. You know, like, I don't know. It's big.
Yeah.
Yeah. I didn't think it was going to be that big.
Right. It is quite big.
Yeah.
I feel like the whole charging it thing is like, dude, I do not have that kind of time.
I know.
I'm going to drive to a charging station and wait an hour.
Well, you got to charge it overnight at your home. That's the reality.
But then even if you're going on a long trip, you still have to charge it.
You got to stop, and you've got
much, man.
2 hour extra time to, you have to.
Yeah, you just add it on.
Allocate 2 hours, 2 extra hours here and there.
It's wild.
Yeah, it's interesting. What do you do at a quick stop gas station for 2 hours.
Dude, you're in like purgatory. You're just
looking
like
at little
sitting there.
earbuds and stuff,
Yeah.
and sunglasses, and
Right.
they have the worst stuff at those truck stop gas stations. Like,
Yeah.
the worst stuff you could buy.
Right.
Oh my god.
Yeah, nothing good's coming out of that.
They could do so much better. Like, imagine there's like a library at the gas station. It's just books.
It would be a whole different world.
Totally different
Yeah.
world. I think we would have a different society.
Well, I think at like those big plaza, like a travel plaza type thing.
They don't have books. They
I
have
think they might
magazines.
have like a something.
Magazines for sure.
Yeah.
I went to Michael's, and all the magazines, there was like 30 magazines, they all had Jesus on the cover, and I'm like, is this a sign?
Mm-hmm.
And then I realized it was Easter week. Yeah, it was
Well,
Easter.
it still could be a sign. I don't
Yeah,
know.
maybe. It's a sign that I'm not paying attention to what month it is.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, Jesus is like, I almost don't understand like any type of picture of Jesus because we don't know really what he looked like. So we just make him like a hot guy. And I'm just like, you know what, dude? Like, this is like false advertising for Jesus. Like, we shouldn't be saying he looked like anything. We should just show like a ball of light. Be like Jesus, you know what I mean? Why, like, you know, I'm not saying he wasn't maybe good looking, but it's just like, dude, we make him like hot.
Yeah.
It's like, what the, you know?
I mean, I think the Son of God would be, you know. I don't think he's
right.
He's definitely. I mean, he's living in the desert too. He's not going to be obese.
Yeah.
You know, and all that sea salt, the desert sea salt. It's good for your skin.
Right.
You know.
But he could have had like a giant nose or something.
He might have. He was Jewish.
Yeah. So you know,
Yeah.
we make him like this hot like model.
Yeah, he could have had a beak on him.
Could have been, you know.
Could have had a nose like me. When I went to Puerto Rico and I had my hair down, people thought I was Jesus.
Yeah.
They were like, "The sun! It's the sun!"
Yeah, man.
Yep.
I'm not even slightly surprised.
And I didn't mean to sound racist with that impersonation. It's just the way the guy sounded.
Yeah.
You know, but they thought I was Jesus.
Well, dude, if you walked around the mall and like you grew your beard out a little bit and put your hair down,
Yeah.
people would think you were
Because
Jesus.
I was in the
have to-
mountains, dude.
Yeah.
I was in the mountains,
Yeah.
you know, on a tour.
Were people like dropping down and like?
Two guys were like, yeah. Yeah, I mean, they were ready to anoint me.
Whoa.
Yeah, they were ready.
Whoa.
I know. I went along with it, too. I was like, come over.
No.
Yeah, I was like, I'll heal you.
Whoa.
I did. I literally cured this guy's gout.
Whoa.
Yep.
That's
Just
cool,
like that.
man.
Just with his own faith.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I could see it, dude.
Doing God's work, baby, in PR. This was like right after the hurricane, too, so people were like on the edge. They were waiting for God, and I was there.
Wow. I would have liked to see like a lot of people come together, and then you got like ambushed. You know, you had like a circle. You couldn't get out.
Crucified.
You were like, fuck.
Yeah.
I would have liked to see that.
Imagine pretending to be Jesus and someone crucifies you.
Well, it wouldn't be somebody. It'd be like a bunch of people.
Right.
Somebody just decides one guy.
Some random guy. You know, do you resist or do you just allow
Like
it?
the whole town would be like, Jesus is here and we have to crucify him. Like, and then you'd have to like get out of that town like ASAP. You know,
Yeah.
or else you'd be.
I don't think they'd crucify him again, though.
No.
I mean, I think that was a mistake.
That was
They fucked up with that. Big time. I don't even like joking around about it.
No. Yeah.
No, I feel like we should edit this part out, but we won't.
No, well, we're not joking around about it.
No,
We're just
no.
joking about you getting
Yeah,
crucified. You're
yeah.
not Jesus.
Yeah, I'm definitely not Jesus. Nope, not even close. But, have you ever met someone with a Jesus complex? Where like they literally thought they were Jesus for a minute? Someone was telling me that their like boyfriend was like, I think I'm the reincarnation of Jesus. Yeah.
I mean, I've had people say stuff like that, but not like seriously. They might have been like, I was on psychedelics and thought I was Jesus for 20 minutes, but
That's
no.
interesting though, right?
Not like
how big does your ego have to be for you to think that?
Well, I feel like it depends on the person because
Maybe
like
I'm the son of God.
Because like we are kind of like
yeah.
you know,
No, we all
kind
are
of
in a way, but not really. He did the he had a very strict spiritual practice.
Yeah. Well, we have like Christ potential, but we
Yeah.
don't have.
We would have
We're
to do
not
a lot
Christ.
of work. Yeah,
we have like potential.
We're way too rough around the edges for that.
Right.
Right. We're like kindergartners compared to him. But once again, they didn't have the internet. They weren't watching YouTube videos all day.
Like you could do a Christ-like action in the moment, and in that moment, you're like Christ. You know what I mean? You could do like just something totally selfless in the moment, and in that moment, you played the role of something that Jesus would have done. That's why that whole like "what would Jesus do" thing is.
It's a beautiful thing to want to do. I swear to you, and I fail at this all the time, but I swear that I would love to be like that. To just always be in the energy of love, be kind, be compassionate, be helpful. How can I help? That's like, I always say that to myself every day.
Yeah, I'll vouch for that you are like that.
I try.
Yeah.
I always, like, every day. Sometimes maybe I help too much,
Right.
Like people don't even want help. I remember a couple of times you were like, I don't need any advice on this. And like, at first I'm like still giving you advice. Like towards the end though, I started to be like, you gotta honor that, you don't always have to give advice. Sometimes people don't want advice.
Yeah.
I think that that's something everyone could take away from this podcast.
Right.
If you're gonna learn a lesson, that's the lesson. Not everyone needs your advice. Sometimes people just need a friend. A shoulder to cry on, a compadre.
Yeah. Yeah, without a doubt. I mean, you've given some great advice. So, I like if somebody is like, listen, I know you don't want advice, but I have something that I really think you could work with here. Then I'll listen. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it's when right away. It's when you say something and right away the person is like already like ready to give you. You know what I mean? That's when it's like, oh, dude, come on, no, we're not doing this.
There is this truth that like a lot of people are like, oh, you have to be able to hold space, and you don't want to just give advice when that's not what's needed. But some of these people need an intervention.
Yeah.
Some people need someone who knows to be like, look, dude, you gotta change. It's you.
Yeah.
But apparently you can't do that anymore. Not in like the whole spiritual yoga community. You have to like let them see it on their own.
Yeah.
And that there's truth. I think there's truth in both.
Right. I would agree. Yeah.
Like sometimes people need a smack in the head.
Well, you could also smack people in the head by just giving, like, energetically. Like you could almost. I've walked away from conversations and been like, oh, like now I see like my actions by that person, how that person reacted.
Yeah.
So it's almost like when you are on a level of
awareness.
When you're at a certain level of awareness, you'll walk away and be like, oh, that person just told me that and didn't even tell me, and I know that was kind of stupid that I said that or something.
Yeah. Oh, story of my life, man. I say a lot of stupid things.
I don't know. Not more than anybody else.
Yeah, that's true. I guess I'm a bit of a perfectionist, There's a part of me that loves to say stupid things.
Yeah, it's thrilling.
It is, and then there's a part of me that regrets it.
Yeah, depending on, I guess, who you said it to,
It's Jewish guilt. That's what Jewish guilt is, actually. It's to say the most obnoxious thing that is somewhat truthful and then be ashamed of yourself afterwards because you made the other person feel kind of stupid. It's like overstepping, we overstep a little. I mean, I don't want to speak for all Jewish people. Usually I do, but I don't want to do that today.
Maybe tomorrow.
So, but yeah, so I survived that near-death experience.
Yeah, Whole Foods.
Yeah. So here we are.
Do you want to talk about why the podcast is called Higher Dimensions? Or do you want to just never talk about it and have that be a mystery?
I mean, like I wanted to, this was supposed to be a comedy show, and it was just me. So I wanted it to be like, spiritual but funny, because my whole life is spiritual. You don't have to be super serious if you're a spiritual guy, okay? Just so you know. Like, God is not God likes funny. God wants you to be funny.
Yeah.
You know, when you're so serious and like everything is so like you renunciate everything.
Mm-hmm.
You know, who says that's the right way? You know, why would we have all of this crap if we were supposed to not have it? That's the way I look at
all
it.
this crap.
Yeah, like I have tons of stuff. Why? Because, you know, it's supposed to exist. It has to. Everything exists for a reason.
Yeah.
It's really for our entertainment. God wants to be entertained through you.
Mm.
That's the truth. That should be in the Bible.
Yeah.
Or the Torah or whatever. God wants to be entertained through you. So you better do something funny. Stop being so serious. There's a lot of spiritual Debbie Downers.
Yeah. Well, the best feeling in the world is just laughing. You know, that's the best feeling. Like, there's no better feeling, legitimately. Like, I don't care about, like, sex. I don't care about jumping out of a cold plunge. I don't care about, you know, anything. Like, eating great food. Like, the best feeling is laughing. Right? Would you agree or disagree? I feel like it's just,
I would agree
like,
100%.
Oh, it feels so good, man.
Because all of those other things could go wrong. Laughing could never go wrong. I mean,
Ooh,
there is inappropriate laughing.
Right. Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess it could go wrong.
Right. Like, I've seen somebody get hurt in front of me, and I couldn't stop laughing. And I'm like, this is fucked up, and I'm literally trying to, like, plug my freaking mouth. I'm like, don't laugh. You know?
I electrocuted somebody once, and
Oof.
I couldn't stop laughing.
Yeah.
I never saw them again. They didn't die. They lived, but I laughed. That was just what happened. You know, the body sometimes reacts on its own.
Yeah, that's one thing. Why the hell is it so funny when somebody gets hurt? As long as it's not like somebody gets seriously hurt and it's like scary. Like when it's like somebody gets like bonked in the head or something, it's like funny, you know?
It could be funny. I mean, people have made millions of dollars on that kind of humor.
Right.
Like Jackass and
totally.
You know, hitting someone over the head with a mallet.
All right.
A giant mallet. Like imagine, like when did that come into the consciousness? And it hit you with a giant mallet.
I haven't seen that one.
No?
I saw somebody recently fall from like the top of a rock climbing wall, like in an actual facility, without a harness. And I'm like, how did this happen? How did they just go up there I was like, what the hell? They hit the deck, dude. That must have been so scary. Even with the harness, have you ever like rock climbed?
No.
Dude, I've been like close to the top, and I was being just such a baby. I was just like, I like froze up, and even with the harness, I was just like, I can't go any higher, you know, like that fear just hit, like maybe 5 feet from the top, and I couldn't, dude, falling from there, I couldn't even imagine how scary that would be. Holy, whew.
Yeah.
I'd wake up into the next life.
I've done the high dive, you know.
That's scary, that's super scary.
I used to do it when I was a little kid.
And actually dive?
I was on a dive.
That goes hard.
I took diving lessons. I was like on a diving team, a swimming team.
Damn, that goes hard.
That was when I was, before I knew anything. I was like probably 7 years old.
I don't think I was ever able to do the high dive. I was too scared. I liked the small one.
For some reason, I had no fear. I don't know if it was like low IQ at the time or... You know, I just wanted to show off. I don't know.
You just didn't have that fear. You're just like, let me jump off this shit.
Now I'm afraid of everything. I hate heights. I will not go to the edge of a cliff. No way. You can't make me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I hear that.
The scariest thing I'll do is go to Whole Foods. That's like all I can handle.
Soon that's going to be off the table.
Yeah. That's all my nervous system can handle anymore.
So soon, one more bad thing happens to you in the Whole Foods lot, you're not going back. Come on.
Well, I've had a life full of stress and traumatic events, like constant. God loves to do this to people. I mean, like if that's happening to you, God loves you. If it's constant trials and tribulations in life, God really loves you because God is like forcing you to become something great.
Whoa.
Yeah.
That hits.
It's true.
That's deep.
It's like the diamond coming from the coal, you know?
Wow.
Yeah.
So what would you say for people who have an easy go at it? Is there even such a thing?
That God does not love you.
Okay.
No, I'm just kidding. I don't know. Maybe they have really good karma, you know, or maybe it's their path. You know, like what is that person's path compared to my path? You know.
Yeah.
If my path is like healing the sick, maybe making you laugh a little bit, having opening up your mind, doing some hypnosis, something like that. It takes a special type of mind to be able to do that. And the only way to develop your mind that way is through initiations. And a lot of initiations you don't understand. It's painful, it's confusing, you feel helpless, and then all of a sudden your faith kind of pulls you from it, and all of a sudden now it's sunshine and rainbows for a couple of weeks, and then you're right back in it. But that has been my life experience. Like I've looked all week. I'm looking forward to this podcast. How sad is that? This is all I've got left. I've got nothing else to look forward to.
Shit, dude. Anything that makes you happy is that's not sad.
Yeah.
Anything that makes you happy is good. I look forward to freaking being a robot in a thrift store, fucking going through 1,000 things of clothing to find one good nugget of a good shirt. So I mean, you can call that sad, but
yeah. You must have been like a gold miner in a past life.
Maybe.
Like what are those people with the pans who?
Right.
What
I don't
are
know
they
what it's
called?
called. An archaeologist.
Not a bootlegger. Not an archaeologist. The gold panner. A gold panner.
Panner.
Yeah. Nobody's gold panning anymore.
Dude, I always think about thrifting like it's like you see people that go there every day. They go more than me. I go every day, but that will stay there like all day, and it's sad until you find the thing. You know what I mean? Like I always would think that it's sad until you find that $1,000 item that just rolls in.
Yeah.
And you're like, what? Then it's all of a sudden.
But is that the only reason people go to these places, or do they go for legitimate shopping purposes?
Oh, I'm talking about like specifically people who like treasure hunt.
Daily
like who are looking for something like valuable. I'm not talking about somebody going to the thrift store who needs a new pair of jeans. I'm talking about like people who are treasure hunting, people who resell stuff.
Pickers. These are pickers. And
dude, you see pickers and you just see them and their energy, and I'm one of them now.
Yeah.
But like, it's sad until it's not. Until they have that thing. Then they're like, got it,
When did you realize that you were a picker? Did you like see other pickers and you're like looking at yourself, you're looking at them and you're like, hey, I'm one of you.
You know what, honestly, my whole life, because my mom was a thrift maniac since I was a young kid.
So it's in your blood.
So it is in my blood, and I'd never thrifted to get stuff for other people like I do now, but it was still just so fun finding something for yourself. You're like, oh, I found a cool shirt, whatever,
Yeah, I want to try it out. I've never. I went to a thrift store once because I wanted like a Kurt Cobain flannel.
Oh yeah,
and I was like, I gotta find, and I found one, and it was $1.
There you go.
It was $1.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's cool.
It was perfect.
That's what's up.
So
$1.
I know. Imagine getting a flannel for $1 today. Do they still have stuff for $1?
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
Salvation Army. And,
You can't even buy a candy bar with $1.
Yeah. Sometimes I'll just find clothes like outside the place, just like thrown around everywhere. You know?
They wasn't even worthy of keeping.
So somebody like donates stuff, and like a wind will come and just like blow it everywhere, and you'll be like, oh, okay, so those clothes are. Oh, there's a cool shirt. Take it,
What's the coolest thing you've ever found at the thrift store?
I'd say like I just recently found like a 1999 Rage Against the Machines tour t-shirt, Battle of Los Angeles. That was really cool. I found like a $500 Patagonia 90s Patagonia jacket made in USA.
You ever find like a Grammy award or something? Somebody's Emmy statue.
I stopped looking for like knickknacks, like actual items, because it just got too sad. You're just looking through so much, just like, I'm not saying it's much different with the clothing, but there's something a little bit less depressing about clothing than
people's
looking through
toys
like people's
and stuff.
So
knickknacks.
If I walk by and I like see something catches the corner of my eye, I might like look at it, but I stopped looking for junk like that recently.
Yeah, I mean, people love knickknacks.
Yeah.
Do you think like the youth loves, like, is that a boomer thing more than Like when's the cutoff? Do people still buy this stuff?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I fell out of like having cool figures and stuff for a long time, and now ever since I started thrifting, I got back into it.
Yeah.
I actually, for some reason, think it's cool. So
Yeah.
kind of just like depends on like what you're getting. Like, are you just getting junk, or are you getting stuff that's like actually valuable? Like, you know.
When does it border on being a hoarder? Like
right. Right. Well, when
when
you can't walk around your house anymore because there's shit everywhere.
I have a friend like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I have a friend who's a hoarder.
Yeah.
But he's got a lot of cool stuff.
Right. If you have it, it depends on how you have it. Do you have it displayed and like cared for, or is it just like you have cool stuff but it's under the couch?
It's a mixed bag.
Right.
It's a mixed bag. You know,
Right.
like there's not enough room in the displays anymore.
There you
so
go.
now
Yeah.
it's just everywhere.
Yeah.
It's taken over.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he's like always throwing stuff out, but keeping stuff.
Yeah. It's all like, you know.
Like for the one thing that gets thrown out, there's 3 new things that are being kept.
Right.
So.
He should sell stuff.
Yeah, he loves keeping stuff. I mean, I love this dude. He's a great guy. So respect. But yeah, I mean, like I was a minimalist for a while. I remember one time I moved across the country with everything I owned was in the back of like an 80s Nissan pickup truck. And then once I got to where I was supposed to stay, I like gave almost all of my stuff away, and I lived out of suitcases on people's floors for like a year or 2.
Shit.
Yeah. So instead of like van life, I did like parents' bedroom life.
Yeah.
Like I was like living in my friend's parents' house in their bedroom, in like the room they grew up in with them, like sleeping on a sleeping bag. Well, with the guy who lives there, you know, my loser friends who never moved out, you know.
You like large scale couch surfed. You like went all the way across the freaking.
It was couch surfing for sure.
Yeah.
Even my first apartment, it was just like couch surfing. I rented like, finally I got an apartment, and it was an unfinished basement in a cokehead's house.
Wow.
And only like 25% of the basement was actually finished. And like I had this blue couch, and I was like, I wanted it to look like the couch in the Green Day Dookie video.
That's what's
so
up.
I like ripped it apart and graffitied it. The couch was and I slept on that couch, and it was the worst couch you could imagine.
Yeah.
You know, I was the guy with the couch that couch ended up on the side of the road. That was me.
Right.
I was the guy that I would have judged now.
Right.
I would have been judging that couch.
Right. But you were also, like, you say the guy, but you were literally a freaking kid.
Yeah, I mean, I was like 18 years old.
You know,
18.
it's like, it's kind of like almost cool in that time, like, to do
Yeah,
that. It's like,
yeah.
if you're doing that and you're 38, it's
Right,
like,
right.
alright, what the fuck?
No, I was super grunge. It was
Right.
I was 18.
Right. That's
You know?
cool. I would have loved to see that couch.
Living on the edge.
Yeah.
Living on the edge with the Green Day Dookie edition couch.
Like, if I came over and somebody had that at that age, I would be like, this is the coolest
Oh
guy.
yeah, I had a graffiti wall in my
This is such a
bedroom
cool
when I was a
guy.
kid. You know,
Yeah.
all of my friends thought it was so cool. Meanwhile, I just had parents that literally had no rules, or you know, they were irresponsible. Irresponsible parents. They let me graffiti the wall. Yeah.
I'm different when you tell stuff like that, because I don't look at that as like anything besides just trying to be creative.
Well, this was before that was cool. Like, this was abnormal for the time.
Okay.
You know, we're talking about like, this was like 1989 or something.
Well, there might have been more people doing it than you might have thought.
Yeah.
I mean,
it was a little
it was
later.
abnormal.
It was like early 90s, like that 9 tray.
Yeah.
The 93 era, you
Yeah.
know. I didn't know anyone else who had a graffiti wall.
Yeah, I had a graffiti wall in my house.
Yeah. What year was that?
That was like 2010.
2010. Yeah. Post internet.
Maybe like somewhere between 2000 and like 2010. Yeah.
It's interesting. Like what was not acceptable is now totally acceptable.
You know, yeah. I mean, it was my parents' goddamn basement, so it was, you know, it was kind of acceptable. You know, I kind of started it, and then they were like didn't like it, and they were just like, all right, we might as well just embrace this. You know.
When I was a kid, my father didn't want me to listen to the song "Whoop There It Is." because he thought they were saying "whoop that ass."
It kind of sounds like it, but it doesn't say that.
Yeah, so I wasn't allowed to listen to that song. That's how crazy shit was back then.
Yeah.
I mean, listen to the lyrics now. I mean, oh my god.
Yeah, they're
I've heard some really grotesque, like over sexualized. Wow. I mean, it makes me uncomfortable as an adult listening to some of the. Like, I went into the Kava bar the other day, and the girl working behind the counter was, probably like, I don't know how old she is, 22. It was her playlist. It was like pornographic.
Right.
Yeah, it was like pornographic rap.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Back in the day, we had 2 Live Crew. That was pornographic rap. Do you remember 2 Live Crew?
I've heard. I haven't really listened much.
Yeah.
I've heard of them.
But it was funny. This isn't funny. This is like serious. They're like They're like trying to get each other turned on with this rap.
Yeah.
2 Live Crew wasn't about that. They were trying to show everybody what scumbags they were.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, things change, man. Things change. I've changed. Like, how much have you changed over the course of your lifetime?
Yeah, just like night and day, really, changed. There's some things that I like hold on to. Like, I feel like being a skater growing up, I'm still I have so much reverence for skating, even though I don't really skate anymore and I do yoga instead.
I used to videotape skating, like on a camera with a fisheye lens.
Oh hell yeah, that was the style.
Because I wasn't really that good at it, but I had friends who were really good at it, so I would like roll around and I would be the one making the video.
Yeah, that's solid.
It was fun. Something to do, like, 8 o'clock at night when, summertime. It was fun. Good times, getting outdoors, making some content.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was, everybody had to have the fisheye lens. That was the thing.
Yeah. Remember Thrasher magazine?
Yeah, of course.
I was like, I'm gonna make a video and it's gonna end up in Thrasher somehow.
Yeah.
But I never did shit with it.
I know. Even the kids around me that were like ridiculously good. It's like, it's so hard to do anything with skating, I feel like.
Yeah.
Maybe it's a little bit easier now because you have social media. You could like, post more.
I don't see anything. I don't see skating anywhere anymore.
That's because you don't follow, but most of the stuff on my Instagram is skating.
Is it?
Yeah.
Wow.
Just because I've liked it over the years.
Yeah.
So it just caters it to me.
I envy that.
It's, skating and tattoos and other art. That's what pops up.
I became like a car guy. I get a lot of car content.
Cool.
Yeah, I guess. Like, being a car guy is cool and also embarrassing. Like, you don't want to be that guy who only talks about
the car. Look at it.
Yeah.
Look at it.
It's crazy.
See this? Look at it.
Yeah. You hear the engine? You hear that exhaust?
Yeah, you see that? Shiny.
Yeah, it's kind of like Cro-Magnon consciousness. Like, but it's also cool. Like, there's so much innovation now. I mean, now you have an engine with like 1,000 horsepower.
Mm-hmm.
You couldn't even imagine 1,000 didn't even exist back in the day.
Nope.
300 was crazy. 300 was like a Ferrari. You were like, dude, imagine driving that with 300 horsepower.
Wow.
Now a Toyota Camry has 300 horsepower. So things have changed with cars. But like, I was always embarrassed being a car guy once I became a spiritual guy, because like, you're not supposed to care about that stuff anymore. Like, oh, you should be, riding a magic carpet pulled by, whatever. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. Sadhguru literally is like a freaking motorcycle guy.
He's a bike guy.
He rips around on a motorcycle. So apparently, being spiritual, you could
do whatever you want.
Like
really,
the motor.
There's really no rules. These are all like self-imposed.
Right, self-imposed. Yeah.
Yeah, it's self-consciousness, really. It's because, we haven't fully accepted ourselves.
Yeah.
Yeah. We'll get there.
Yeah, man. Every day. Chipping away.
All right, well, thank you guys for tuning in to episode 2 of Higher Dimensions. Catch you next week for episode 3.
Yeah, guys, have some tea, have a nice night, wind down.
Stay hydrated.
Stay warm. It's cold out here, just snowed.